Hi, my name is Grace. I found out about the Pregnancy Resource Clinic when I was a student in high school, and I volunteered there for a while, so whenever I found out I was pregnant, I knew exactly where to go. So I have grown up in a Christian household my whole life. I have great parents, great support in my life all around, but about 2 years of my life, I really fell off and did not go to church for a long time. I was partying on the weekends, and for a while I actually didn't even see my parents. I wasn't even living at home. So in 2022, I found out I was pregnant, and I had been in a 3-year relationship. I had thought that I was gonna marry him at the time. I thought it was gonna be my forever. And finding out I was pregnant was super scary. I didn't know what the church would think. I didn't know what my family would think. And most importantly, I didn't know what God would think. The father of my baby, he had told me multiple times that I should get an abortion, and he was really pushing for that. Even though I knew that I didn't believe in abortions, I had actually considered it for a minute because I was listening to what he had told me. And the Lord convicted my heart really quickly, but now I understand how easy it is for girls to actually go through with abortions. I called PRC early on in my pregnancy. It was right after I had found out. I had only told a few people at this point, but I felt comfortable enough to go to the staff at PRC. They got me in right away. They were super friendly, which was a big part in making me feel comfortable and to share the situation that I was in and what I was going through. I sat down with the staff and they gave me options, and they laid out exactly what I could do. And they gave me resources that really did help me in my pregnancy later on. And then they scheduled me for my second appointment, which there they did the ultrasound, which that is when everything became so real for me. I heard her heartbeat and I got to see her little body. And from there is when it really pushed me to, number one, be a mom in that moment, to change my life and to change the situation that I was in, and to really give it all to God. After leaving the relationship, it was not easy at first. I went into a season of mourning, and I really had to lean on my parents and my support system during that time because it was really difficult. I had to, number one, mourn the loss of a 3-year relationship, and on top of that, then the father of my child. And I had to be okay with the fact that I very well could parent as a single mother. But I had to come to that place of realizing that it's okay and that God is writing my story and He's in control. Whenever I was about 3 months along, I remember sitting out on my deck watching the sunrise, and God had given me this vision. It was so clear. He told me that my pregnancy would be restored. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant, but it was very clear to me that throughout the pregnancy, I would be healed from many different things in my life. I remember talking to my mom at one point, and she had been praying with me, and I had been sharing with her that one of my biggest fears was that I wasn't gonna be able to parent with anyone, that no one would love me as a mom that had a baby, and that I wouldn't ever get married one day. And it was a serious fear for a really long time. So she started praying with me for a few weeks that someone would come into my life, whether that would be 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, we didn't have a time frame on it, but that someone would come into my life that would love my little baby as their own. And lo and behold, Nick walked into my life just a few months later.
My name is Nicholas Garman, and I am married to Grace Walk. I had a dream that piqued my interest. I was with a woman who was 9 months pregnant. A week later, I would have met Grace, and the Lord brought that dream back to my mind, and very quickly He spoke to me, hey, this is actually what I'm calling you into, to pursue her and love her baby. Because if I was going to be in Maybell's life forever, then I wanted to be her dad right now. I mean, spiritually, I understood that I was her dad, and physically, maybe not by blood, but I adopted that mindset of like, you know what, I am her dad, and I'm going to treat her as my daughter and love her as my daughter. And when I adopted that mindset is really when it truly felt like she became my daughter.
This is Maybell Grace. Whenever I had found out that she was a girl, I was 16 weeks along, and the Lord had told me that my baby would be beautiful and lovable. And 2 days before she was born, Nick got the name Maybell, and lo and behold, the meaning of her name means lovable and beautiful, which you are just those things, huh?
Thank you to all the PRC donors out there who have done such an incredible job and been faithful to the Lord at supporting my amazing wife even before I knew her. It's because of you guys that she is where she's at now. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you everyone for supporting, and the PRC staff for supporting me, and without them we might not be here, especially Maybell. So I want to say thank you for blessing our family tremendously before we were even a family.